Hi, I'm an old guy and I do maths. Today we're looking at an inequality. We're trying to discover where the function negative x squared plus 12 is greater than the function 3x minus 1. And the technique that I use is probably not the technique that that you'll see in textbooks. It's a slight variation on that. The first thing I do anyway is I try, if I can, to render the inequalities as a graph. And so what I have here is the graph of y equals 3x minus 1. This point here is negative 1 on the y-axis, if that matters. And this is the graph of negative x squared plus 12. So it's an upside down parabola centered on the y-axis with a maximum height of 12. And what we're looking for is we're looking for where this function is greater than this function. And we can see that here on the graph. So it's the area in here, which happens to be the area between the points of intersection of these two graphs. So y equals x squared plus 12 is greater than this function at all of these points. Right. Well, let's have a look at how we go about solving this. So what I do is I treat this as if this were an equal sign, and I set about solving this as if it were a simultaneous equation. So I get a fairly speedy solution for this one. I make 3x minus 1 equal negative x squared plus 12. I turn that into a quadratic. I bring these values over to this side of the equation and make it equal 0 and set about solving it using the quadratic formula. Negative b, negative 3, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c. Now this gives me a value in here of 61. And my answer turns out to be that the points of intersection on this graph that you were looking at earlier are at negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 61 all over 2. That means that this value here is negative 3 plus root 61 over 2. And this value down here is negative 3 minus root 61 over 2. So this inequality holds true between these two values. And so how do we answer this? Well, we say that x has got to be greater than negative 3 minus root 61 all over 2, or it must be less than negative 3 plus root 61 all over 2. And that's our solution for this inequality. I know that you can see that this point up here, I just need to address this matter. This point up here is obviously higher than this point here. So why isn't this function greater than the line at this point? Well, the simple answer is that if we put the value of x at this point into these two functions, what you're going to find is you get a value for this function down here and a value for this function up here. So I hope that answers that question. It is between these 2 points here that negative x squared plus 12 is greater than 3x minus 1. Okay, well, I hope that was useful and interesting and informative. If it was, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.